866-392-98. We are going to get to your calls. I have some commentary yet to do, but I want to finish up with Sandy. I didn't want to be a poor steward of her time, so I was going to let her go, but she was gracious enough to say she had a few more minutes. So
I have to stay here and shovel snow, Dan. So
I know.
Sure?
I don't shovel till it's all down.
I'm going to shovel in anticipation, like the government shut down before there was any snow.
There you go. So, Sandy, it's just so, the thing that I find most surprising, I don't know why, but the thing that I'm just surprised about is that so many, as you've already said, they're alienating their base. And I know that the only thing they care about is the next election, not the next generation. I understand that. I question their concern and care, and I've been criticized publicly on the air by congressmen and senators where I've said that, look, do you really care about America? It's hard pressed. I'm hard pressed to believe that you really care about America when you ignore some very obvious things. So your ideology, just like the left's ideology, is constantly in the way of just common sense. Forget about just good practical solutions, but just in the way of common sense. And I'm just amazed by that. And it doesn't look like it's going to it's not going to get any better, is it?
Well, here's the thing that I want people, thanks for keeping me on so I could say this, Dan. This 2014 election really is pivotal. And we always say that, but it seems like they get more and more crucial instead of less and less. And conservatives are in a really good position to get rid of some of these people in this upcoming election. There are lots of primaries, and this is not a partisan issue. No. This has nothing to do with party. I've said that many, many times. Yep. The whole issue of Democrats versus Republicans, that horse left the barn a long time ago. Now, some people are still thinking in those terms, and that's kind of the way we operate in a party structure. But we're talking about people who want to destroy and undermine this country on every issue versus people who love it and want to preserve it. So that's where I am on it. I'm on the second side. Love it and want to preserve it. Yeah. So in the upcoming primaries, there are some really fine people running. Now, I mentioned this to you before, and since you're a money guy, I want to make sure that you know this. I'm sure you do, Dan, that the Chamber of Commerce is partnering with the Republican establishment to destroy conservatives and so-called Tea Party, but Christian conservatives too, in the voter booth. They have tons of money. They're running ads already in primaries. But they have money, but they don't have grassroots. The conservatives, Christian conservatives and other kinds of conservatives, are the people who get out and vote and get out and work. So we can still prevail in the polls, but that means a lot of self-discipline, registering people to vote, getting the word out about candidates, and fighting back. And we need to displace members of the House and the Senate who are the kinds of people we just talked about, that they are concerned about keeping their power base, their seat, their privilege, as opposed to fighting for the country. Because we are going to have a real battle. Are we going to lose the country? So we got to get people in there that are willing to fight, and then we're going to have to stand behind them. We're going to have to give our money, we're going to have to work for them, and we're going to have to support them instead of them turning them loose and abandoning them while we go back to our lives. We've got to be arms locked, ready to fight this fight.
And you're absolutely right, Sandy. We say that every election. I've been saying it since 2008 and trying to motivate people. And I'll tell you, there's more people motivated today. There's people getting involved in politics. And I always remind people, we have a governor in Wisconsin that's there because of a grassroots effort. You could argue, and I believe that we have a president of the United States that is there because of a grassroots effort on the other side.
You bet.
And it is a powerful, powerful thing. But we can't expect the other guy to do it. We've got to put some feet to our faith and our convictions, and we've got to do it ourselves. And I say that on a regular basis, and I know you and I and others are going to be fighting tooth and nail through this period leading up to 2014. And Sandy, I really appreciate you coming on here. It's such a wonderful perspective every week for my listeners. You know, we take all the financial questions, we listen, we talk about all the financial side of things, but you know, all of this, when I talk to a politician or the political side of things, and remind people that are listening, it is about the economy. this is about the economy. Because if we don't change the will in Washington, we are, there won't be an economy. We are headed for the cliff. All I want to do is run the car into the ditch. We don't have to fix it right away immediately, but if we can get it into the ditch and spend some time to get it back up on the road, turned in the other direction, and repair it. And we've got to do that. We've got to keep fighting. So this is all an economic issue. I said Obamacare was going to be the final nail in the coffin of our economy. I still believe that is true, and we've got to start fighting.
Go
ahead,
Dan, can
Sandy.
I just ask you a really quick question?
Sure.
I made a statement last week, and I've said it many times, that to me, often people who are very sophisticated financially, big investors running money management companies, are clueless. They think they know stuff, but they really don't. And Jim O'Neill, who is the former Goldman Sachs asset manager, made a statement on MSNBC or CNBC last week. I wonder if we could be in the very early stages of a redistribution of wealth from capital back to
Jim,
mass
do you
income through government policies, whether it be from taxes or things being done to boost minimum wage. I wonder, he said. Yeah. I was shocked, Dan.
Well, I'm not. I wasn't shocked at all because, Sandy, what you don't, as someone who worked on Wall Street, we have to understand that Jim O'Neill, former president, he's a Brit, and Jim O'Neill, they have to talk what we call their book. They're not going to openly and publicly say things as the head of a Goldman Sachs. They're not going to talk something that is going to discourage people from investing. They're just not going to do it, even though they know the truth.
Okay, so they know it. It's a part of the business not to say it.
It is. It's just kind of an unwritten rule that you don't talk down your book, because that's talking down everybody else's book. You just don't do that. And it's an unwritten rule on Wall Street. And that's why it's very difficult to glean any accurate information about the economy out of Wall Street. They're still not talking about certain things on Wall Street. The only, things like they've changed the way they calculate GDP. I'm the only one that's talked about it in any media. I've hardly seen it at all. And I talked about it in April when they decided to make the change for July 1st last year. And all of a sudden we've got a good GDP number. Well, it wasn't that hard to figure out when you now calculate things in your GDP that no other developed nation, with the exception of Japan, no other developed nation is including in their GDP.
It's like changing the ACT and SAT scores, changing the method of testing to make students look smarter than they actually are because they've changed education principles. It's the same thing, isn't it?
Same thing. It's exactly right. And, we keep developing new normals. And if we can't get them, I'm speaking of the government now, if they can't get what they want, they will change the way they calculate it. And that has been going on. We're totally ignoring a 37-year low in labor participation rate, as if we've had no population growth in that time, and as if everybody is sitting on the beach and playing golf that is no longer in the labor participation rate, when the highest problem with full-time employment is from the ages of 18 to 25. I mean, it's lunacy. But
it really is.
Mainstream media buys right into it, and we don't even hear about the different calculations. And it's sad. And we're going to keep fighting, though. Sandy,
yes, we
you
are.
And I and others.
We're in the business of information, and I always feel like, Dan, as long as we can speak the truth, that has power. Even just a little bit of truth has a huge amount of power. That's why the left is intent on, that's why Cuomo says, if you're pro-life and pro-guns and, anti-gay marriage, you don't belong in New York. You got to shut up and get out of here, because they can't stand anybody who has a countering view. And so that shows you how much power. That shows you how much power there is in the spoken word. Yeah,
it is scary. And you know what? The Bible reminds us that when the time is near, we are to fight all the more. And I would suggest everybody just read Romans 13 verses, I think it's 11 through 14. I mean, it's reminding us that we need to wake up when we are entering into the light. The closer we are, closer today to the Lord's return than we ever been, and we need to be fighting all the more. And we need to constantly be reminding our listeners of that as well. Sandy, I so appreciate you, and I thank you for being on with us, and you'll be back next week.
My pleasure, Dan. Thanks for inviting me. And I'll talk to you then. We'll have more to talk about, I'm sure. I'll tell you about all the snow.
Okay, yeah, and we can share those stories. All right.
Okay.
Thanks, Sandy.
You're welcome.
Sure appreciate it. Sandy Rios, folks. Sandy Rios in the morning. You can hear Sandy every morning. If you want the accurate truth and the perspective on our politics from solid, conservative, evangelical truth, a biblical perspective, you must listen to Sandy every morning. And she's on the hour before me from 7 o'clock Central Time, 8 o'clock Eastern Time. And I hope you'll tune in. If you don't have a radio near you that's an AFR radio, you can go to a radio AFR app, listen to it on your phone, go to your computer, get it up at afr.net, listen to it on your computer. But if you want to be well informed and know what's going on, make sure you tune into Sandy. Okay, well, we're going to get back to some of the more boring things of the economy, but not boring to you. I know all of us strive to be the best steward we can be with our finances, and we are going to ask you to cue your call-ups. Now's a good time to do it. Our phone lines are open, 866-300-9298, 866-300-9298. We're going to get you. I've got a whole pile of headlines here that I wanted to touch on, but I'm not going to do it. We went a little over with Sandy. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to get to your calls. So go ahead and queue it up. We've got a couple lines open, 866-300-9298. Now, I want to remind all of you that Thursday evening, if you're a partner with me on my website, we're going to do an investment strategy kind of 101. You're going to get firsthand knowledge of the details, not with, details that you understand. On my strategy, the strategy I've been using for many, many years, that is on my website, but it's a lot of reading and things like that. So if you're a partner with me, I'm going to talk through my strategy to give you a clearer picture of what I believe. It's kind of a mini town hall meeting, and we're going to do it on our conference call. You know how we do a conference call every month. This one's going to be in the evening, because I get so many people that say, it's great that you try to do it at lunchtime, but I still can't listen, and all that. We're going to still do our conference call, our normal conference call this month, but I want you to tune into that, and it's going to be Thursday. So if you're a partner, go on the website, you'll find out how to dial in, and you can just put me on speakerphone, and you can listen to some of that strategies, and we'll see how the time goes. We may open it up for questions. I'm not sure, but make sure you tune in if you're a partner with me on the website. It's one of the things that we do as a service to all of you that support this ministry. I mean, we are supported through great, great sponsors, obviously, like AFA and Timothy Plan and others. Well, and that's it. And listener-supported radio, and that's what brings us here. And for that, I want to, for all the partners that support the ministry, and there's thousands, we do this conference call. So it'll help give you a few more insights. So I sure hope that, you'll tune in. And it's Thursday evening. It's going to be at 6 o'clock Central Time, 7 o'clock Eastern Time. 6 o'clock Central Time, 7 o'clock Eastern Time. And if you're a partner with me, it's for our partners. You can, if you don't already have the number, you probably do. You can get it off the website. 866-300-9298. 866-300-9298. We've got a full board, but nothing queued up here, so I'm waiting to get to the phone. So you're calling in with your questions. Keep doing it. 866-300-9298. We're going to stay with the phones here. Let's take a look and see where the markets have opened this morning. They are up. The Dow's up 39. Nasdaq's up 29. S&P is up 10. So all the indices in positive territory. They were looking like they were going to head up around 50 on the open. I don't know if they did or not. I didn't see them at the open, so I'm not sure whether they did. Let me go to Travis in Indiana. Hey, Travis, real quick. Go ahead.
Morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, I'm from Tennessee.
Oh, I'm sorry. Hey,
No
Travis,
problem. No problem.
Tennessee, go ahead.
I know it's a simple question, but I would just want to know what's the best thing to start doing when you want to start saving more.
It may seem like a simple question, but it sure is a good one, Travis, because people need to know that and understand. The best thing you can do, and this is a little, I'll tell you what to do, and then I'll tell you the stumbling block why we don't do it. The best thing you can do is develop a discipline. And you know what that means is if you get paid every other week, you need to have a certain amount of money automatically, so it's not dependent upon you, coming out of your checking account that same day and going over into your savings or your IRA. Whatever you're saving for. If you already have like emergency savings, then you can do it into the IRA. That's the first thing that you have to do. Now, here's the stumbling block. The stumbling block, Travis, is that so many people say, well, you know, I can only do $15 a pay. So what good is that? And they don't do it because they don't believe that $15 a pay is worth doing. Here's the thing. Remember what I just said. It's about developing a discipline. I don't care about how much it is. I care that you develop the discipline, you do it every pay, you start feeling good about yourself, and you start realizing, you know what, this $15 is not a big deal. I know I could do 25. And you start to change it, and you start to see things build up. That's what the first order of business absolutely has to be. I hope that helps you, Travis. 866-300-9298. We'll be right back.